Welcome back, folks. This is a long overdue, it feels like, episode, right? It's about
Yeah.
payroll. We've been on a hiatus, I guess you can call it. What's up, Walt?
Man, just glad to be here, man. I feel like, bro, like I'm just always in a whirlwind with how fast time has been moving, man. Like, I feel like the year just got here and the year is like halfway through, and it's just surreal right now.
Agree. Agree. I was telling somebody the date, they were like, you were back in April still. I was like, what? What is May? Oh my gosh.
And
It's
May's
just,
halfway through.
in May's halfway, literally, as of this recording. Yeah, for real.
It's gonna be Christmas soon.
Oh man, come on now. Yeah, but yeah, pretty much. You're right. Shout out to shout out to everybody still at Congress or flying back today. Safe travels to all our payroll
Miss y'all.
nerds. Yeah, loving the pictures and yeah, maybe next year we'll go. It's just always dope. So
Yeah.
it was a real for
Real treat, first one.
the first one was a real treat, yo. And I think that was my first. That was my first payroll con, but not my first. My first through Pay.org, but not my first payroll conference. But Pay.org is definitely a one of a kind type of thing. Like if you're a payroll professional, you should try to get to it 1 year. Even if your company does not pay for it, it's worth to try to do it. It's an education experience. You take classes. Like it's not just party time the whole 5 days. Like you could do actually you could do like a Saturday to the next Sunday to really get the entire experience. And like there's classes throughout the week. It can actually absolutely be an educational experience. So it can be an investment in yourself. It is a pretty good lift on expense wise, but they do have like letters that you can. They have materials that they could help try to convince your company to pay it for you.
Yeah,
You could
absolutely.
work remotely, like if they let you, like even if you can't take vacation time, or first of all, it shouldn't be vacation time if the company lets you do it. Even if you pay it on your own,
Yeah.
it should not be vacation time. It is a payroll learning period.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and you could work from there if you need to. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
everyone should try to get there at least once in their career, type of thing.
Oh, yeah,
What's up,
it's
right?
good. You're gonna learn from it. You're gonna grow.
Yes.
And anything that will pique your interest, you can find something there. You're gonna connect with people, and I think that's the biggest thing. You're gonna have fun too. It's not just gonna be like all just like textbook stuff. Yes, you're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna grow a lot. You can ask questions, but there's fun activities for you to engage in as well. And the people there, you know, yes, a lot of us are nerds or quirky in our own way, but payroll is a lot of fun. We have a lot of great people in payroll.
Yeah, the exhibitor hall is cool. They provide lunch every day in the
Yeah.
exhibitor hall, so that's dope.
Mhm.
Breakfast and dinner, you're on your own, you know. So yeah, definitely good experience. So shout out to everybody that made it. And what I was gonna say is like it was really nice because everybody was like, "Are you gonna be there? Yo, let's meet up. Let's meet up." Like, so it's really nice
Yeah.
to see like folks kind of looking out. Tammy and John from Payroll Like a Boss.
We're like a boss. Mhm.
Go check it out. It's not up on the shelf here because I'm trying to read it. They were like, we were looking for you last year. You guys weren't there. I was like, and it's like it's so right. It's humbling. It's like it's honoring like that folks are looking out for us, and then that's dope. So shout out to everybody.
We will definitely be there next year.
Well, now you put it into the world. So we gotta go. Walt done said it.
We will definitely be there next year.
We need to start the building fund for it. So yeah. So what else, folks? What else? That's the payroll news, right? Too for this episode. Look at the beautiful collection of books. If you haven't read payroll books yet, Nick Day just dropped his book. Max right before that. Haley Patterson probably a lot before that, but we had her on the show earlier in the year. Feels like right, but it was, and like you said, the year just blowing by. Payroll Like a Boss is the most recent one. I love the way they did their marketing and promotion. John also has HR Like a Boss. and shameless plug, our book has been updated and reformatted and all the good things. And if you have purchased the book before, I don't know, a week ago, please let me know, and we will send you a new copy, because the formatting was off and the content was still the same, but the formatting was off. And if you're a stickler like me, when I first saw it, I was just like, no. So we got the formatting updated, right? Got professionals to help us, and editing professionals and things like this. But when you do things on your own, you bootstrap and self-publish, and but yeah, we definitely owe you a new copy on us. Just reach out to us. Happy to send it. Even, just reach out to us, period, if you want. And the digital copy is on sale, $2.99. I dropped the digital price, so make that easy. It's really to share, right? The book purpose is to share out with folks. I even updated the cover. This is the author copy, so it has that line, but even updated the cover since this one. And this corner here says forward by Nick Day, because Nick Day wrote the forward for our book, and got Payroll Nerd on the back. Roy Markuson writes the back cover. Right? I mean, it's a family affair, y'all. Like, gotta keep it out, right?
It's a good thing, man.
So it's, again, our book is an introduction. I hate saying intro to payroll. How do we better say this? Because when I say intro to payroll, it feels like I'm saying like a class, right? But it's like a
but it truly is. You can say that because the book was made for those who are just probably just getting into payroll, or those who are interested, particularly making payroll a career.
Right? It's the discovery.
So maybe discovery of payroll.
I gotta find the right term.
It's whatever, man.
Yeah. So
man.
So let's get it going.
Get into it, man.
Yeah. This is our season in review. Super late, but better late than never. Oh my gosh, this is Q2 season review, and we're almost done with Q3. We're in the middle of Q3, right? Yeah, basically. Not middle.
No,
we're in Q2 still. Oh yeah, we're in Q2 still. Oh, this is Q1. No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Still good though. I love the season in reviews, because if this is the first episode you ever listened to, we're gonna give you all the nuggets that you didn't see and watch yet. So start us off, man. What's up? What we talking about for season 1? Would you like?
When you think about season 16, what's the first word that comes to mind, and why?
So groundbreaking is what.
Groundbreaking?
Yep.
Okay. Why?
Because we had so many great guests, and it captured a really pivotal time for the business, right, for us. So yeah, groundbreaking. Yeah. I'm sure the details will come out here in the questions. What about you?
So for me, I think I keep seeing the word like impactful, right?
Okay.
And because of the guests we've had on, and the impact they're making, and some of them aren't even necessarily in payroll, but the impact they're making in their industry or their sector of the world, right? And just seeing the impact the heart they have for people, right? That's what it's about. That's why I think a lot of us take pride as payroll pros and payroll people, because we take pride in the service that we give and what we put out for others, right? So definitely impactful, man, because what we do is impactful, right? And so that's what comes to mind, man.
I like it. All right. What's the biggest lesson you personally took from this season?
I think, and I've learned this from other seasons as well, but I guess it's okay to share this again. Like for me, it's that things are changing rapidly. Things are changing. The things we talked about, the things we're seeing in the industry. AI is here, becoming more prevalent in different things and relevant. So that's what it is for me. I think that's the biggest takeaway for me, is that things are like really accelerating in certain ways for payroll.
Like that. Yeah, I would tend to agree. And, shameless plug, but AI can't do payroll yet. So go check out our course, the Certified Payroll Technician, where we are teaching folks how to do payroll inside of a payroll system. So sounds like a commercial because it is. And, we just built a really great program. And that was part of why it was groundbreaking for me, because we rolled that out at the end of this in season 16. We rolled out the book. We rolled out PayQuest. We rolled out Payroll Universe as a managed service provider. We rolled out, the CPT course and announced that, like Payla, and just all these things, the merchandise, like we really just, exploded with the whole always be launching type of thing.
Yep.
Shout out to Melissa I always mess up your last name.
Vicioso.
Vicioso. Thank you. Visciasco. Melissa V. We're going to have Melissa V on. She's going to help us like do a really special episode, and we haven't forgotten. I need to reach out to her and let them know, but we haven't forgotten. So, but anyway, yeah, that's, I like it.
Yeah. So next, man, what was the biggest surprise for you just all around?
Yep.
Like, was something that,
easily
kind of caught you off guard?
How can I say? We had a lot of payroll adjacent.
Remember that feeling the first day of school, looking for your table in the cafeteria? Do you know anybody? Where are you supposed to sit? You don't know, but you definitely feel like there's toilet paper on the bottom of your shoe. Ugh, this is the worst. Well, you know what they say, high school never ends. I'm Anna Morgan, former corporate recruiter turned entrepreneur, and I know the workforce can feel just as complicated and cliquey as high school. Trust me, I've been there. The layoffs, the imposter syndrome, the what the hell am I doing moments at 3 a.m. It all brought one point into focus. We all deserve a place to belong and learn. So I started this podcast just for us. Welcome to your Career BFF podcast, a place where everyone has a seat at the table, complete with masterclasses, no BS advice, and candid conversations with some of my favorite people. It's the Breakfast Club meets the boardroom. So whether you're the rebel challenging the status quo, the brain strategizing your next move, or the quiet wizard making magic behind the scenes, you have a seat. So grab your backpack, find your spot, and get ready to learn, laugh, and lead together. Because in this classroom, everyone's got a BFF. Class starts soon. See you there. Bye.
Guests on, right? Jenny Wallace from Melody Advisory Services, Terrence Wright, Christopher Bylone, Trent from CotaPay, Melissa Walker, Sounder Benefits, Brian Smith, and Eric from, Bottom Line. I forget the name of the business. Forgive me, but all payroll adjacent, and great products, great services, great professionals. So that was a surprise for me how, big these payroll adjacent products and services play into payroll, and how many of them we had in this one season. Really.
Yeah. I kind of share that sentiment, because we had some very interesting guests, and, kudos to them for the things that they're doing, the strides that they're making in their own right. It's just fascinating to see, as two people who are, we've been growing our own thing for so long, and it's just like to see those other people, kind of champion it. Is that a word? Championing. Is that a word?
Champion. Being a champion.
When it is to, like, when you want to champion something, and you're speaking to it, and like you're basically trying to, they're out there just selling their brand and pushing their goal, and each one that we spoke to, sorry to regurgitate this, but each one is just trying to help someone.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And so it's just fascinating people, man. Which other topics, I think we kind of covered this one already, but was there a conversation that made you rethink how payroll should be done?
Sorry, I just wanted to properly shout out Brian Smith at Top to Bottom Solutions. And I'm sorry, say it again. Was there a conversation that made yes? Heck yeah, that's an easy one. Trent from CotaPay. The name of the title for that episode was The Death of the Payroll Cutoff.
That was fascinating.
Yes, because he basically introduced us to, I think people are used to it. It's real-time money movement. Most people, young people for sure, Cash App, Venmo, these type of tools, right? They are used to moving money in real time. So to say like, oh, what do you mean I got to wait 2-3 days for payment? Like that's nuts for them, right? That's payroll though, right? One of my young clients right now, he was shocked by that because, is in the tech business and, they move money in real time, the PayPal type situation, all these services that move money in real time. And we were installing some structure and, most payroll providers is 48 hours, right? It's, for processing.
At least 48 hours.
At least, yeah. And the more money you move, the more you really do want that time because you want to be able to validate, move things. Like you kind of want that buffer. So, and it was kind of culture shocking to him because he's like, what do you mean? 48? What? Why gotta wait so long? And like, hey, so you can do same day sometimes, but anywho, Trent CotaPay introduced us to that whole depth of the cutoff time because there are banks that will move real time, but there is a caveat. Both banks, the sender and the receiver, have to agree to this setup, right? It doesn't work for payroll specifically. Because you might say, well, how does Cash App work? That's different. It doesn't work for payroll because remember, payroll, you're moving batches of money. I'm not going to say a dollar amount because it could be low dollar, but it's batches. It's 10, 20, 100, 1,000 people getting paid, right? And you're moving it all at one time and it splits from one account to many. So when you're doing something like that, both banks have to agree, right? That they're going to do it that way. So that's the caveat. So yes. What about you?
Man, same. I'm sorry to piggyback here on you all with this.
That one was the big one in that season. Yeah, for sure.
It was definitely fascinating. That and Melissa Walker from Sounder Benefits, the way that they're approaching benefits in general, and how they're looking. Really, their sole purpose and mission is the employee.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying, is to really help educate the employee, and so that was a breath of fresh air from that standpoint. But definitely the windowless payroll that Trent talked about, man. That was, for me, that was eye-opening and game changer because this is like that will give you more time to audit, to catch different things. And like, if you don't wait until like the day of or the day before to actually push the payment through or same day, like say, hey, payments are going to hit, boom, this is the time it's going to hit today. There we go. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it blew my mind. And that was pivotal for payroll processors, in my opinion. Right. And so what about the next question?
Well, I just want to say what stood out also is that she's also saving her clients money, right? She's able to do both, right? I think she's like one of her big cases, like saving a client like 19% on increases in benefits, which in a time where benefits is just going up, nobody's seeing savings, but even no increase or a lower increase is what she's doing, right? So in a time where it's just skyrocketing increases, she's minimizing or not having to increase on her clients. So go look out for Sounder Benefits if you guys need a new benefit solution. If your broker is not helping you save money, give them the boot. Call Melissa.
Yep.
So the next one, let's see. What's one payroll myth you feel like we finally helped break this season?
Look, it's definitely going back to the CotaPay for me, like, because and I'll speak more to that because I've just been used to having to process by Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest to guarantee direct deposits
Mhm.
for employees, right?
Mhm.
That's been the mode I've been
Story, yep.
in for a majority of my career, over all of my career. I'm
Yep.
still at that now
Yep.
where I had to process by no later than Tuesday.
You actually got an increase in your window, like
Yeah, decrease,
or
yeah,
depending on how you want to look
yeah,
at it.
it
Yes,
shrunk,
you
it
have
shrunk,
less
right?
time
It's
to process now. Right.
Yeah, my window, I have a little window now.
Right. Right.
A smaller window,
If you're
and so like,
Yeah, if you're in Canada, you got to process on Monday for Friday from US because of
yeah,
for the currency and the convert
so
foreign. Yeah.
yeah, so that means I had to get creative and use different resources, create different auditing tools, just to kind of shore up for that and try to check things before more so than during, because during we could capture a lot of stuff and go back to the people and let them know like, hey, this needs to be updated. Go update it, and I'll recalc and this and that, whatever. And now it's more so like having the prompt, like having to change it up, right? And so I think that this, like, shoot, I don't want to dare say that there's ever like a perfect payroll. Sometimes there's been a few like payrolls in my career. I could say like there's been no errors or anything like
Yeah.
that, as far as I know, right?
Right.
But like,
Well, because you don't know if
that's
you
been reported.
overpaid. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Things that have been reported, right? Because
Yep.
if the data's bad, then there's going to be bad results or output. And so, but yeah, like I think this could pretty much like make payroll airtight from a processing standpoint, and this will get us closer to that perfection
Closer.
that we seek,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you could take the time to
Mhm.
audit the attestation, the time and attendance, those different things. You can take the time to audit the employee data even more so in a
Yep.
detail. If you have Monday through Thursday,
Oh
or
my
even like
gosh.
to audit
4
and stuff like
days.
that, oh
Woo. Yeah.
my goodness, I wish that much time.
Yeah. Or
What
you could,
about you, man?
and you could put maybe depending on organization, you could put more on the managers, give the managers more time, right?
Yep.
If you got a big organization, being manager, right? Like that, like, hey, okay, we'll give you an extra day to check time cards and to do all this stuff. And like, so yeah,
Mhm.
it could be changed. It could definitely be a game changer there. What myth can you break? Let's see. I want to see how, well, definitely a myth, benefits. You can save money through benefits. Melissa Walker showed us how, and Brian Smith
Yes.
showed us how to save money.
Substantial money.
Oh yeah.
Substantial.
You can,
Yeah.
through benefits, that again, top to bottom solutions it's a product that's been out there and it's in the benefit, space, and you do get access to medical benefits, but the pre-taxability of it helps save not only the company money, but employees money. So it saves money both places, significant amount of money, right? So if you're a big organization and you had a lot of people on benefits and you need to save some money, or even not, you just got a lot of people that need or have benefits, like that's so basically that's what it broke for me. Like you can save money through benefits, not just spend money, right?
Nice.
So let me ask you this. What goes into preparing for a season like this that listeners don't see? Like the behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Like what are some of the things
Oh,
we go through that they don't realize that we got to go through to prep for these
well,
seasons?
some of the things I like doing is like the research part, especially when we have guests, right?
Yeah.
And we get to find out about them, and I love the this or
Yes.
that sections
Yes.
and stuff like. And sometimes, like, not to creep anybody out, but sometimes like I could be sitting and thinking about something. There's been times of this or that, like questions, and the ideas will pop into my head, and it'd be right on point with the person, right? And so I don't know if that's ESP or what, or maybe just me having a large head, like my girlfriend says. That's almost, so I can figure those things out. But like finding out more information about other professionals and HR benefits, payroll, like connecting with them, and man, it's kind of giving me hope from a standpoint, right? Because like there's so many decent people out there who really just care for others, man. So, I kind of went off on a side talk right there, a side street there. But I think just that part for me is kind of like doing the research and gathering all the data, man. That's one of my favorite parts.
Hello, this is Michael Vandervoort from the Drive Through HR podcast, where we discuss ideas, trends, and activities that impact HR, talent, HR technology, and the workplace. Our focus is on expanding knowledge and igniting curiosity as we hear directly from people who are shaping the future of the HR industry. Join us.
Hey, and I can definitely speak to like the research that you do, because we'll have folks like bugging out a little bit, like, oh wow, you really did your research, like, like in our intros, when we read their intro or when we do this or that, and like we'll hit them with something that hits a little bit more personal for them. I mean, look, and this is all like research. Like Walt is not PIs to go dig into this, folks. Like it's just internet stuff that's available on LinkedIn, But I guess what they don't realize is that you take that extra step. We take that extra step to kind of see if we can learn about them and be a little bit more intentional about the process and the interview and the conversation we have with them. So yeah, it's cool. I could definitely attest to that.
Perfect segue, sir. Like, how has doing this podcast changed you personally?
That's an easy one. Well, okay. It makes me a better payroll professional, right? I tell people all the time, it's a cheat code. The podcast makes us better at our job. The job makes us better at the podcast. Because when we first started this over 200 episodes ago, we didn't think that we would have this much to talk about. We're like, oh, we're going to run out of stuff, but that's all right. We'll take it as long as we can. We're now, 208, 5, 6, like, this is not 03. This is because we're behind on the thing. I forget where we are right now. We're over 200 episodes in.
Well,
yeah. So, it makes us better at the job because all of this stuff comes up in conversation. And now we have the statistics that back up the theories and the presumptions that folks make. I can be like, no, that's not really true actually, because we did the research and blah, blah, blah. Or that is true and we did the research and, blah, 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 whatever it is. And being open, I think professionally, it's helped me to be more open to doing things better. I'm almost 50 years old and I'm still learning and willing to say, oh, you know what? This is a better way. Even for some bad actors that I've had to meet and deal with recently, like, they were still smart people that I still took things from and learned from them, even though they don't know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I may not have wanted to give them that satisfaction of, hey, I learned from you, even though you're a terrible professional. But I learned something from you. Smart doesn't mean good with people. Like, you can be smart and not be able to deal with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody should be dealing with people. What about you?
You're right. No, I think for me personally, like, it's kind of broken me out of my shell, right? Because me, like, I'm probably way more introverted or to myself than most people, right? Like, I'm okay. I can sit at home and be by myself with left to my own devices and be fine and not really, that social battery will like be depleted really quick for me, right? But doing the podcast for me has had me like come out of that shell a little bit and, gain more confidence with asking questions and interviewing and getting more comfortable with, because one of the things that when we first started this, I was always like, man, we're going to be out there, for people to see and worried about,
Yes, you were.
people's opinions.
Especially when we went to video.
Yeah. I was worried about, not for any like aesthetic things or any looks or anything like that, but more so like just worried about people's opinions. And now I'm just like, whatever, take me as I am or Don't take me at all. And the reception that we receive from people has been like so empowering for me from that standpoint, right? And it's just kind of let me know that the world's not as bad as, some of the things I've been through, or some of the things that shameless plug earlier in my book, Bruised but Not Broken, right?
I
Like
gotta read
all the
that
world's
if
not like
you,
that.
yeah. Yes. Definitely famous plug. If y'all haven't read Walt's book, Bruised but Not Broken, I think I'm gonna speak to it for him because I feel like it's hard for him to market and promote this book because it's something you will experience all the feels in this book. You will laugh, you will cry, you will end hopeful. And it's an amazing journey through a piece of Walt's life that he really opened up about. I would imagine it was therapeutic for you to write,
It was.
but hard to promote because of how personal it is. But go check it out. Most people that I've given to read it, they read it in one day because they can't put it down.
It's a short read. It's a short autobiography. Just did it to try to help folks, man. And I have to credit the podcast, because I don't think if I didn't do the podcast, I'm not sure that I would have been confident enough to do the book.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That explains some things. So let me ask you this: what challenged you the most this season, mentally or professionally?
I think, mentally, for me, I guess it doesn't have to do anything to do with the podcast per se, but just seeing all the layoffs, all the different things that people are going through, and, and payroll professionals in the industry, our peers, like seeing, a lot of people on LinkedIn, and those are the ones I'm connected to, right? Seeing a lot of people like say, yeah, I'm open for work because things have changed for them. Like, that's been sobering for me. It's just like, man, like things are really changing for folks, and so I think for me, that's kind of been like the challenging part. What about you?
My challenge, mentally or professionally? I think that both mentally and professionally, what's the word I'm looking for? Stamina, just being stretched thin. In this season is when I started the managed payroll services consulting piece of Payroll Universe. And it's been an exhausting journey. It's fun, dream come true to be a small business owner that is like independent, right? I don't work for, I don't have a boss. I have a partner, business partner, and my clients are my bosses, right? Because I always tell people like, you always have a boss. You may not have someone that you report to, a formal hierarchy and a structure, and you're not a W-2 employee, sure. No, but our clients are still, the clients that I work for and service are my bosses. So I have multiple now, but there's a lot more freedom, because you're a contractor, because I'm a vendor and a corporation. It's a true 1099 test to all those payroll professionals, right? I'd meet 1099 tests fully, So it means I make my own schedule as long as I meet deadlines and things like that. Like, there's I don't have to go, oh, can I go to the doctor today? Like it's a lot of freedom that I've earned, right? I've been doing payroll over 20 years, and shout out to the last company that made this happen for me, because sometimes bad things open up the door, right? Like it's just, oh, word, this happened. Oh, something bad happened. And then it was like, bing, so, but it was testing. It was a pure, and then even then on top of that, layer in personal challenges as well. So it's been the most challenging time of my life. And I still came through it winning, and, through it all, the podcast, and, and then the podcast suffered a little bit because we couldn't record some days, and, technology was against us some days, like so it was just, we got hit with every type of challenge in this season, and it was a challenge, it was definitely a challenge mentally and professionally to just make sure we keep getting through it. And I think having a great resolve, having a good optimistic outlook, and staying on top of it. Like if you feel like you can only win and it can only be good, then you will. You will. And that's yeah. So what's this last one here? If you could go back to episode 1, what would you tell yourself? Wait, one of this whole podcast?
Yeah, episode 1. Man.
Oh my, yeah. You go first. You've thought about this before longer than I have. What do you think?
No. I think just speaking to my last answer to the last question, right? I would just tell myself, man, y'all got this. You guys got this. Like, be confident, or whatever. We learned it, but I think.
Oh,
well, you know what?
I know once.
Maybe, I would change. I'm gonna change that answer.
Okay,
because
go ahead.
I feel like if I would have said that to myself, and yes, it may have helped, but it may not have. I think some of the lessons along the way may not have been appreciated as much, right?
Yeah.
And so I think for me, I would say enjoy the ride.
The one I thought about is, honestly, I know this sounds crazy, but I would have built our social media branding better, like across all channels.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the business things that because we didn't even know what to do, and there was no blueprint, and then it's always after the fact that you're like, you talk about it with something. Oh, well, yeah, you should have did it like this. Yeah, where were you 3 years ago? You know what I mean?
You remember the first background that we had for the podcast?
Yes, we got to get that in the
dark purple thing.
Yes. Shout out to Steve, my boy Scuba Steve did that, and it was dope, right? It was. We loved it at the time, and we need to put it on a poster so we can put it in the background, because that's that OG. Yes, and make a T-shirt like we always say we was gonna make sure we pay homage to that. And I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We used to do a virtual background, the green screen type deal. But yeah, that's what you said as well. Hey, enjoy the ride. But yeah, I would just like make those adjustments as far as business is concerned, like across social media stuff. But yeah, man, that's it, man. Well, as we close it out.
Finding a great career has always been a challenge. But today, with the massive changes underway in just about every sector of the economy, in just about every country in the world, finding a great new career is even more challenging. And if you're a student, recent graduate, or someone else early in their career, it's even harder for you because you just don't have the experience that those who might be 10, 20, 30 years older than you have. The answer? The podcast, From Dorms to Desks, a podcast by College Recruiter job search site, where every week we take a deep dive into a topic specifically of interest to candidates who are early in their careers and looking for a great part-time, seasonal, internship, or other entry-level job.
You got a this or that for us. Looks fun.
With this,
and
right.
Mind you, just so you know, like the challenges that we were talking about, we already recorded this episode, but it was technical difficulties with that. Like, and look, sometimes that happens when Walt always telling me when you're about to level up, you get challenged the most, right? He's always sending me clips like boom, boom, and we do it for each other, right? Iron sharpens iron. Shout out to our other iron sharpen iron brothers, and that's what happens. So if you're in life and you're like, man, everything is coming against me right now, no, you're about to level up, and that's what happens. You get challenged.
Yep.
So just keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing. You're probably on the right path. I read something that said if you are scared and excited about your next step, you're probably on the right path. So, all right, cool. So as we close it out, folks, what's the this or that you got for us?
We're doing hip hop edition, sir. So I think you would enjoy this one. And if you're a hip hop head, you might enjoy this too. And we would love to hear your answers as well. So let's get into it. Jay-Z or Nas?
Easy for me, Nas. As if you're watching the video of this, Queen all day.
All right. Tupac
Wait,
Shakur.
you got to answer too. You got to answer too.
G.
You got
Nas.
There you go. Also Nas. Okay.
Godson. Yep.
Tupac or Biggie?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say both on that one. R.I.P.
Really?
Rest in power. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, they were both titans in their own right.
That's what I'm saying. They both died. But you believe that they both died like 24, 25 years old, bro?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. And the level of stardom they had gotten to at that age is incredible. Really, is really, and I think that's what makes them so.
Imagine
iconic.
where they would be. Yeah, imagine where they would be now.
Crazy,
right?
Yeah.
If they were still alive.
No.
So, like, I think for me, I got to choose both.
Yeah,
you know, maybe that's
you have to,
but like,
you kind of you have to. But yeah, I hear you.
And so next, Lil Wayne or Eminem?
I'm gonna have to go Eminem on this one, only because Lil Wayne is really, actually, really a dope MC, but I think he makes more radio ready stuff. It's for me, it's the stuff that you hear on the albums, on the mixtapes, that where he goes off. And it's like, who's that? That's Wayne? Oh, wow. The radio stuff is, it's the club bangers, the summer hits and all that stuff. So it's like, and that's where it sticks out for me for Wayne, I guess, because I don't listen to enough of the other stuff. Whereas Eminem, even in his radio and party stuff, he's still a great MC. Right? Okay. So I feel like Wayne drops in MC ranking when he does the party stuff and radio stuff. So,
I understand. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Yeah. For me, like Lil Wayne is Eminem is super talented. Lil Wayne's super talented, in their own right, each in their own right. But for me, I remember like being a teenage kid and, Cash Money Millionaires came out and Lil Wayne and, Bling Bling and all those different songs came out, and Go DJ was like one of my favorite songs, back then, so like I have to go with Lil Wayne because, like, yes, lyrically, Eminem probably might have a little bit of the edge in some ways, but I think with this the music, the beats and stuff like that, and everything, I had to because it reminds me of my childhood. Lil Wayne,
of course.
All right, a little rock to throw you off here. Aerosmith or Red Hot Chili Peppers?
But they still very hip hop adjacent because Aerosmith did the track with Run DMC. For this one's tough. I'm gonna go Aerosmith. One, because they did the track with Run DMC, and two, because I met Steve Tyler. Yeah, back in the day when I was a kid. I didn't really know how big he was when I met him. And then it was later on that I was like, oh, I met that dude.
Nice.
Yeah, what about you? What about you?
Aerosmith, like one of my favorite songs to this day is Dream On.
I listen to it. I don't know if I've ever heard that one.
Yeah.
Dream.
Yeah, you definitely heard it.
Oh, yeah? Okay, Dream On.
Dream On by Aerosmith. That's like one of my favorite ones. Like how it starts off like subtle and then it just kind of just like goes up more.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs, man.
That's dope.
Yeah. All right. R&B. Boys to Men or Jodeci?
That's another tough one. Man. I'm gonna have to say both.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Both iconic R&B groups.
Yeah, they're both iconic groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Jodeci, they eventually broke up and became Casey and JoJo.
Yeah. Well,
And
they
both
always,
kinda
they
went
always
their
break
own
up. Yeah.
lane. So I would have to say, for me, just because their initial impact on the game of music, just all around, it has to be Boyz II Men.
Okay. No doubt. Yeah. No, definitely. They definitely highlight that Michael Bivins run. Michael Bivins went on a run.
Yeah.
He went on a run with that. He's Boyz II Men. Oh man. ABC, BBC, the East Coast family, like BBD, that BBC. Man, he just did it. But yeah. I had to say both because Boyz II Men, again, Boyz II Men, that song It's So Hard to Say Goodbye was out when my father passed away. And that hit hard then. And then Jodeci, because they just also just highlighted that what is it? Come and Talk to Me. You know what I mean? That yep. What? Still, you know what I mean? I still think of my wife when I hear that song and I just always envision her.
Oh man, that's the one. Yeah,
exactly.
bro.
You know.
Yeah, man.
All right, last one.
I don't know if you know both of these too
I
well.
know one of them.
So Panic at the Disco or Linkin Park?
I'm gonna say Linkin Park because I don't know who Panic at the Disco is.
Some people they're like they're a pretty popular rock group, but they're probably like,
what's their most popular song? Do you know?
what was that? What was the one he was talking about, the wedding?
I'm gonna look it up. Don't worry. Panic at the Disco.
Have any people ever heard Closing the?
I'll look it up on Spotify. I'm sure.
But that's probably one of their. They have a couple.
So what about you
hits,
then?
But it's Linkin Park
For you?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely, I'm starting to get my vinyl collection up.
Oh,
a little
really?
bit.
That's cool.
So I definitely want to get some vinyl for some of these artists, and I definitely want to get Linkin Park and some others as well.
That's what's up. Well, thanks for that, man. That was dope. Thanks everybody for joining this much delayed season 1 in review, and as we are deep into season or into the next season. But it's always fun. Like at one point we realized we could drop those season reviews anytime. Yeah. So again, I always like when folks like, follow, share, tell a friend, go buy the book and send the digital copy to someone who's looking for a new career or new grads. Check out the training program. We're really excited to be able to train new payroll professionals on a payroll system. If you happen to be getting an iSolve job or you want to go to a company that is working with iSolve, that is the system that we'll be training on. Not for nothing, a lot of companies are scared. They didn't want to, I want to gossip, but they didn't ask many companies, to get involved, let's do it. And they're all kind of really scared to expose themselves like that. And that is telling. So, it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, that's payroll's payroll. But please like, share, follow, do the things, reach out, comment, anything we can help with, let us know. So the next time, we love you. Peace.